Welcome dear students to our science class. In the last class we had started with the classification of microbes, and in that we had studied about bacteria and protista, that is protozoa. Now we will move forward and study about the third type of microbe, that is fungi. The size of fungi is approximately 10 micrometer to 100 micrometer. Now students, some fungi can be visible to the eyes, but some cannot be seen with the naked eyes. Like the 10 micrometer to 100 micrometer, this fungus cannot be seen with the naked eyes. These are found on decaying organic matter and the dead bodies of plants and animals. So previously also in the video which we saw about fungi, we saw that the fungus or fungi was growing on the decaying organic matter, that is the bread, right? So fungus usually they grow on decaying organic matter or either the dead bodies of plants and animals. They absorb their nutrition from other organisms. They cannot produce their own food. These are eukaryotic organisms. Again, eukaryotic means they have distinct cell organelles and a nucleus. Some are unicellular and others are visible with naked eyes. As I told you earlier also, some we cannot see with our naked eyes, but some fungus we can see with our naked eyes. Like if bread or chapati is kept in the open for a longer period of time, you can see small thread-like structures growing on the chapati. So those are visible to our naked eyes, although not that clearly, but you can see that there is some white color thing growing on the chapati. Let's see the third point. They are saprotrophic, absorbs their food from decaying organic matter. Again, this fungus is also called fungus or fungi are also called as saprotrophic. Why? Because they absorb their food or they gain nutrition from decaying organic matter. The matter which is dead or either it is decaying. They produce sexually and asexually by cell division or by budding. Now some of the fungi or fungus can produce sexually with the sex organs which they have. Now some fungus they do not have the sex organs to produce sexually. So in that case they produce asexually, and the process for reproducing is cell division or budding. Now cell division, as I have told you earlier, one cell divides into two. And now what is budding? And now what is budding? Look at this picture over here. This is the hydra, and you can see in this picture that there is a small bird which is growing out of the parent hydra. This is the parent hydra, and from here a small bird is growing. Now when this bird grows from the parent hydra and when it is fully developed, it will detach from here, or you can say it will get separated from the parent cell, and a new hydra will be formed, and then it will grow and it will repeat the same process to reproduce more hydra. Some of the examples are baker's yeast, candida, mushroom. Now let us move forward. The approximate size of algae is 10 micrometer to 100 micrometer. Now students, what is algae? Look at this picture. In this picture you find this green color plants that grow on the surface of the water, right? So first of all, they are aquatic. As you can see, or mostly this algae grows on the surface of the water where there is water. They are eukaryotic, unicellular and autotrophic organisms. You know what is eukaryotic? That means they have well-defined nucleus and well-defined cell organelles. They are unicellular, that means they have single cell, and autotrophic, that means they can produce their own food. They don't depend on other organisms for their food. Photosynthesis is carried out with the help of chloroplast present in the cell. Now, chloroplast is a pigment which helps in the photosynthesis. Now, this pigment chloroplast helps the algae in photosynthesis to produce its own food. For example, chlorella and Chlamydomonas. Very few species of algae are unicellular. Most of them are multicellular and visible with naked eyes. Now in algae also there are various types. So some of the species of algae, they are unicellular. That means they have only one cell. But most of them are multicellular. That means they have more than one cell, and these types of algae are visible to our naked eyes. That means we can see it with our eyes. Now when the cell is destroyed, the virus is free again. And then again this free virus will go and infect or attack new cell and do the same thing with them. It will absorb the nutrition and it will destroy them. So this is how a virus attacks the plant or animal cells. Viruses cause many diseases to plants and animals. So now as we have seen how the virus, when it enters the plant or animal cell, it destroys the cell. So after a certain period of time, it will destroy more and more cell in that plant or animal. The plant or that animal may die due to that virus. Now students, you must be wondering that at the start when we were classifying all these microbes under prokaryotes, eukaryotes, we did not see virus over there, right? In that classification, virus was not mentioned. Why is that? Because generally viruses are not considered as living organisms. They are said to be organisms at the age of living and non-living, which means that they are not considered as living and neither they are considered as non-living organisms. So they are on the age of both living and non-living organisms. So that is why in the start, in the classification part of microbes, viruses were not mentioned. Now students, let us discuss the notes that are at the end of the chapter. Okay, so students, let's look at the notes of this chapter. So the first question is, use Whittaker's method to classify bacteria, protozoa, fungi, algae, prokaryotic and eukaryotic microbes. So here they have asked us that in what way did Whittaker classify all these microorganisms. So let us write down the characteristics, because depending upon this characteristics of the microorganisms or the 5 kingdoms, he classified them, right? So basically here you have to write down the characteristics of the 5 kingdoms. So these are the characteristics of kingdom Monera. These are the characteristics of Protista, fungi, plantae, animalia. Okay, so you just have to write down the characteristics of this kingdom. Now the next question says that complete the 5 kingdom method of classification using living organisms, prokaryotes, eukaryotes, multicellular, unicellular, protista, animals, plants, fungi. So students, below this question there is a diagram given, an incomplete diagram which you have to fill. Some places are empty, so you have to fill in those places with right answers. So basically this is how your chart will look like with answers. Okay. So under living organisms, we have studied that we have prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And under prokaryotes, we have unicellular and monera. Just this much. Whereas under eukaryotes, we have unicellular as well as multicellular. And under unicellular, we have protista. Whereas under multicellular, we have fungi, plantae and animalia. Okay. So complete this chart. Now next question is find out my partner. So as you can see that in column A, we have fungi, protozoa, virus, algae, bacteria. Whereas in column B, there are cholera, bacteriophage, candida, amoeba, prokaryotic. So these are all examples of all the things given in column A. So let us look at the answers. So for fungi, the answer is candida. Candida is an example of fungus. The next is protozoa, where amoeba is the example of protozoa. Virus is bacteriophage. Students, bacteriophage is a virus that attacks the bacteria. Okay. So for algae, the example is chlorella. Then bacteria, it is a prokaryotic cell. Now let us see the next question, the fourth question. State whether the following statements are true or false. Explain your statement. So if the statement is false, we have to explain why it is false. So the first statement is lactobacillus are harmful bacteria, and it is a false statement, students, because these lactobacillus bacteria are present in our intestine, and also they are present in milk or yogurt or any dairy product, that is milk products. And whenever we eat or drink milk, we do not get sick, right? So that is why it is a false statement, and true statement is lactobacillus are not harmful bacteria. Second one is cell wall of fungi is made up of chitin. Now students, remember we have studied about this in our lesson, where it was written that the cell wall of fungi is made up of complex sugar which is called as chitin. So this statement is true. The next statement is organ of locomotion in amoeba is pseudophoria. It is a true statement. We have also studied about this. And tomato wilt is a viral disease. So this is a viral disease, and it is a true statement because it is a viral disease that is found in tomatoes. The next question is give answers, and in that the first is state the merits of Whittaker's method of classification. So here we have to give the merits, that is the advantages of Whittaker's method of classification. So the first merit is unicellular and multicellular organisms are kept under separate categories, which means that in Whittaker's method of classification, the unicellular organisms were divided from multicellular organisms and they were separated and kept into separate groups. So that was one of the merit of Whittaker's classification. The second one says that autotrophs and heterotrophs are placed in separate groups. Now again, we know that autotrophs are the organisms which produce their own food, whereas heterotrophs are the organisms which depend on other organisms for their food or nutrition. So these two types of organisms were again separated in Whittaker's classification, and that was considered as a merit of the classification. The third one says that a separate kingdom was assigned to fungi because of its mode of nutrition. Now students, we knew that there were autotrophs and heterotrophs. These two had different groups. But now fungi does not fit in both the groups. Why? Because fungi is an organism which depends on decaying organic matters. It does not depend on living organism, and it does not prepare its own food. But it depends on decaying organic matters. That means the organisms or animals which are dead. It depends for nutrition on them. That is why a separate kingdom for fungi was made, because it was totally different than the autotrophs and the heterotrophs. The fourth merit was prokaryotes are placed under a separate category of Monera. Now we had seen prokaryotes and eukaryotes, right? So during classifying all these organisms, all the prokaryotes were separated from the eukaryotes. That is, all the organisms with well-defined nucleus and cell organelles were separated from all the organisms who had no cell organelles or no well-defined nucleus. Okay. The fifth merit says that according to five kingdom classification, the cell structure, complexity of cell, mode of nutrition, lifestyle, and phylogenetic relationship are taken into consideration. So students, when organisms are classified into particular groups, all these things are taken into consideration. All these things are looked upon. That is the how is the cell structure of that organism, or how is the complexity, whether it has cell membrane, cytoplasm, all the cell organelles or no. Then mode of nutrition, that is how it takes nutrition from the environment. Then is the lifestyle, that means where it stays or where it is found. And phylogenetic relationship, that means that the evolution of prokaryotic cells to eukaryotic and unicellular to multicellular, how the relationship was formed. All these things are taken into consideration, and likewise they are separated in separate groups. Now next question says that write down the characteristics of viruses. Okay, so the various characteristics of viruses are extremely minute. Minute means small, very small, and its approximate size is about 10 nanometers to 100 nanometers and can be seen with electronic microscope or electron microscope. They are considered to be on the boundary line of living and non-living, which means that they are neither considered as living organisms nor non-living organisms. So that is why it is said that they are on the boundary line. They survive only in living plants and animals and cannot live on their own. The viruses, as we had studied, these viruses depend on other organisms for their own survival, for their own food or nutrition or energy. Okay, though they are not considered as living, they can make replica of their own. So students, these viruses, they are not considered as living, but still they can reproduce or they can make their own replicas. Replicas means a same image of oneself. Okay. Viruses are independent particles and long molecules of DNA or RNA which are coated by protective layer of protein. So as we have studied how is the structure of the viruses, they are independent and also they consist of genetic materials, that is DNA and RNA, which have a protective outer covering, and that covering is made up of protein. The last one is viruses are responsible for many fatal diseases in plants and animals. This means that if a person or animal or plant is infected with some virus, if care is not taken, it can lead to death. Next question is, explain the nutrition in fungi. Now students, most of the fungi are saprophytic in their nutrition. They absorb the nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. In this way, they decompose the organic matter completely. Next question is, which living organisms are included in kingdom Monera? Now here they have asked that which all organisms can be included in the kingdom Monera. So the organisms of the following characteristics are included under kingdom Monera. So the first point is, all the living organisms belonging to kingdom are unicellular. So the organisms should be unicellular, then only they can belong to kingdom Monera. That was the first point. The second point says that the mode of nutrition in them is either autotrophic or heterotrophic. That means that the mode of nutrition, the way they take nutrition from surrounding, it should be either autotrophic. That means they should create their own food, or else they should depend on other organisms for their food. All of them are prokaryotic and thus they do not have well-formed nucleus. The nuclear membrane and cell organelles are absent in them. Organisms in kingdom Monera, they are prokaryotic. Prokaryotic means they do not have well-defined nucleus, or sometimes the nucleus or the cell organelles are absent in the cell. Kingdom Monera consists of different types of bacteria and blue-green algae. So in kingdom Monera, there are bacteria and there are blue-green algae. And these are some examples: Vibrio, Salmonella typhi, Staphylococcus aureus, Clostridium botulinum. Question 6. Who am I? I don't have a true nucleus, cell organelles or a plasma membrane. So in Monera, if we see, we can say that the Monera is a prokaryotic cell, which means that it will lack nucleus, cell organelles, right? So the answer is Monera. And why it is Monera? Because Monera consists of prokaryotic cell which does not have well-defined nucleus or cell organelles. Second one is I have nucleus and membrane bound cell organelles. The answer is Protozoa, because Protozoa is a eukaryotic cell and it has well-defined nucleus and other cell organelles. The third one is I live on decaying organic matter. The answer is very simple. It is fungi. I produce mainly by cell division. Now, when we were studying, I told you all how the cell division occurs. From one cell, that is the parent cell, two cells are formed. And then again the process goes on repeating, and that happens in bacteria. Okay. The next one is I can produce my replica. So the answer is viruses.
Thank you
because
everyone
in
and have a nice
viruses,
day.
when we were studying, we saw that the viruses can multiply in the host cell and they can reproduce. They form the exact replica of the previous cell, that is the parent cell. I am green but don't have organs, that is algae. Here the seventh question says that draw a neat and label diagram of structure of bacteria. And these are some types of bacteria. Structure of paramecium. This is a structure of paramecium. In your textbook also there is a similar structure. You can refer any one, whichever you find easier. Then the third one is structure of bacteriophage. Now here this is a bacteriophage, and as I told you earlier also, bacteriophage is a virus which attacks the bacteria. Previously we studied about viruses where we saw that how virus attacks the host cell and then destroys it. Similarly here the bacteriophage, it attacks the bacteria and then after using up its energy and all the nutrients or food from that bacteria, it starts to reproduce itself inside the bacteria, and later on it infects the bacteria and destroys it. And the similar way other viruses destroy the host cell. Okay, so this is the structure where this is the head, blue color part is the head, then there is a collar, then there is a sheath, and then there are tail fibers for locomotion. Next question is, arrange the following in ascending order of the size: bacteria, fungi, viruses, algae. Now students, here they have told us to arrange it in the ascending order. So as we know that viruses are very small, right? That is, they are approximately 10 nanometer to 100 nanometers, whereas bacteria, they are 1 micrometer to 10 micrometer. Then bigger than bacteria is fungi, which is approximately 10 micrometer to 100 micrometer. And then last or the biggest one from all these four is algae, which is approximately of size 10 micrometer to 100 micrometer. So students, these are all the notes which are given at the end of the chapter. So please write all these notes in your notebook